恭敬大德身体，为此法会，济一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐。殊真无生，will the Sangha with virtue out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Namo sadanto sucheto ye alahati sanmiao sanputo che. 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in a billion eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Namo, quelling disasters, lengthening life, Medicine Master Buddha. 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 Medicine Master does come one. 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 Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Venerable Master, and all good knowing advisors, Amitabha, welcome back. This is lecture number 196. And today we are still going through what it means when they say the practice of being mindful of the Buddha or recollecting the Buddha. Or in Mahayana, we know it as Pure Land practice. Just give me a moment. Let me drink some water. I'm not sure if my internet is stable, but if for any reason my voice cuts out, or there's something weird going on, please let me know. Okay, then I can do certain things to change my thing. But if not, don't need to, then I'd rather not change anything. Okay, so someone asked me, say Fashu, why are we going into so much detail into a Theravada practice of recollecting the Buddha? Well, it's because our Amitabha Pure Land Dharma door. Okay, and I'm going, which in Chinese is let me show you the slide. Hold on. Okay, I'm tone deaf. Let me see if I can pronounce it right. Apparently, I was pronouncing it incorrectly the whole of last week's lecture. Let me see. Nian for. Okay, is that right? Nian. I mean, it
Yes,
goes.
very good. Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, Nian, I must remember to pull myself up as I say that. Okay. It's because the Nian for is based on what we are studying. Okay. The Buddha first taught it in the Theravada text in the Pali Canon. So our Amitabha Pure Land practice actually is based, the foundation comes from there. And most Mahayana, from my understanding of Mahayana texts, when you read the Mahayana text, they kind of assume that you already have a good working knowledge of of the Theravada text. Think of it this way, all right? If the Mahayana text is secondary school or college, you have to go through primary school, right, to get your foundation before you can go to before you can go to college. So it's just like advanced maths and normal maths, you know. So right now, what we are doing is, you could say that from our Pure Land practice, we are taking a step back and investigating the roots and the foundation of where Pure Land practice comes from. Okay, and why is that important? Well, if you look at your screen, this oh my, suddenly let me get a cough drop. This is from the Venerable JinHe. He's a monk in Taiwan, still around. He's a contemporary monk, and I've been introduced to him by Candy, and I find his teachings excellent. His understanding of the Mahayana principles is absolutely excellent, and the way he can, unfortunately, he only lectures in Chinese, but the way he can translate the principles into practice that we can follow. Some of his lectures are deep, very deep, but a lot of it is also very accessible. So what he says here is not, I don't attribute it to him, although this exact quote is from him, but the principle is that in faith, okay, faith is actually confidence, and it doesn't come from blind belief. That's salvation-based faith. That's blind faith. Whereas faith in Buddhism is built on understanding what you're doing, so you have no doubts. And in Pure Land, okay, in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land practice, faith, vows, and practice. Faith comes, you need to have confidence in yourself. You need to have confidence in the Buddha, in his vows, and in the Dharma. But if you don't have the confidence built the right way, which is through proper understanding or right understanding, then you have doubts. And if someone comes to you and say, "Oh, you recollect, you recite the Buddha's name," or actually that's recollecting the Buddha, it's a Theravada practice, then you may not know, right? And then it's like, is it true? Is it not true? And then if they ask you, what do you do? And say, oh, I just recite the Buddha's name. I say, really? But when we recollect the Buddha, there's so many things we can choose from to be mindful of the Buddha. But you only recite the Buddha's name, and then you're filled with doubt again, like, say, and you don't know how to answer, right? Okay, so what we are doing is, I'm giving you the whole practice. It's like they say, throw it at the wall and see whatever sticks. Sometimes I go into detail because that's where the practice takes us, but you don't have to know all of it. You don't have to memorize all of it. You don't have to know all of it. You don't have to practice all of it. You just have to know that it's there. You just get the principle and the understanding of where recollecting or mindfulness of the Buddha comes from. And if there's one or two that you seem to have an interest in, then you can concentrate on that. Okay. So I'm giving you the whole practice. It's like I'm telling you, um, say, okay, say if you go on holiday, okay, and say if you go to Italy, which has really good food, Italy has really good vegetarian food as well, or the food that's suitable for vegetarians. And if I'm your tour guide, I would want all of y'all to experience to have access to all the vegetarian food that's available. Whether you want to eat it or not is up to you. But at least I perform my responsibility by telling you, okay, in terms of soups, here we have the soups, here we have the salads, here we have the pizzas, we have the pastas, and whatever other kind of the whole range. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, all right. Doesn't mean you have to know all of it. Okay, all right. Now, so just to refresh everyone's memory, if you look at the screen, this is the part of the sutra that we are on. And, if you ever find yourself in danger, water, fire, knives, poison, steep cliff, animals, mosquitoes, all these things. Okay, if you can single-mindedly recollect, worship, and make offerings to the Buddha, Medicine Master Buddha, you will be liberated from all those frightful things. Okay, but in order to do that, you have to learn how to do that, or at least how the Buddha taught us. Yeah, I think that's a better way. That's the correct way. This, what we are going through, is the Buddha actually teaching us, oh, if you want to be mindful of the Buddha, which is an excellent practice, this is how you do it. Okay? All right. Now, in the Visuddhimagga, okay, which is like a compendium of all the Buddha's teachings in the Theravada text, it says mindfulness is recollection because it arises again and again. That means in your mind. Okay, what you are recollecting about the Buddha, and there's a lot to recollect about the Buddha, as we are going to find out. It comes again and again. Okay, or alternatively, the mindfulness that is proper for a clansman gone forth out of faith, that means monastic, since it occurs only in those instances where it should occur, which is actually all the time, is recollection or recollection. So the recollection arisen inspired by the Enlightened One or the Buddha is a recollection of the Buddha. This is a term for mindfulness with the Enlightened One's special qualities as its object. Okay, so if you want to be mindful of Amitabha Buddha, you have to know what are the special qualities of Amitabha Buddha. Every Buddha has their backstory, which you can find as their vows. Their vows give an insight into how they actually became a Buddha. Okay, but also all Buddhas are equal, meaning what applies to one Buddha also equally applies to every other Buddha. And because Shakyamuni Buddha is our teacher, at the most of the examples that we are looking at is based on Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, but you can apply it to Amitabha Buddha or Medicine Master Buddha as well, or Ashobhya Buddha. If we want to go to Ashobhya Buddha's Pure Land, that's what you do. Okay, all right. Now, the practice. Okay, it says a meditator with absolute confidence in the noble path. That means the middle way, the Buddha's teachings, who wants to develop firstly the recollection of the Enlightened One. Among these 10, among these 10 should go in, among these 10, meaning these 10 words in orange that you see, should go into solitary retreat in a favorable abode and recollect the special qualities of the Enlightened One, the Blessed One, as follows. Okay, he is. So these are the 10 befits 10 titles of the Buddha. He's accomplished, he's fully enlightened, he's endowed with clear vision and virtuous conduct. He is sublime, he's the knower of worlds, he's the incomparable leader of man to be tamed or to be taught, teacher of gods and men, he's enlightened and he's blessed. Okay, so let me advance one slide. Okay, I'm going to go through these terms one by one. Okay, sometimes, like I said, it is going to go into a bit of detail. You don't have to, it's just to give you an overall picture. Okay, and if you like it, then good. All right, then you pay attention. All right, okay, because this is how we get to know the Buddha really well. Okay, now, in terms of the accomplished one, okay, there are 5 characteristics of what it means to be accomplished: remoteness, enemies, spokes, worthiness of requisites, that means worthy of receiving offerings, and the absence of secret evil doing. What does this all mean? Okay, we're going to look at it one by one. Okay, the first one, remote. Remote means far away from all defilements. Okay, because he has conquered all afflictions, all defilements, all impurities. He is known as being accomplished. So there's a verse that says, "A man remote indeed we call, from something he has not at all. The Savior too, that has no stain, may well the name accomplished gain." Yeah, I don't know where this verse comes from. I have to find out. Yeah. Okay, second one, enemies. What enemies? Enemies meaning the defilements. So the enemies that were deployed, greed and the rest, have been destroyed by his, the helper's wisdom sword. So he is accomplished all accord. I think the person who wrote these verses had a lot of fun. Okay, so that's quite straightforward. Number 3 are spokes. What do spokes mean? Okay, so this is where you have to use your imagination. Okay, you visualize a wheel like on a cart made of wood. Okay, so what does that represent? It says the round of rebirths with its hub. The hub is the central where the axle goes. Okay, the hub made of ignorance and of craving for becoming, and then the spokes here represent the formations of merit and the rest. That means karma. And then the rim is what? Aging and death, birth and death. Okay, the rounds of birth and death. And that is joined to the chariot of the triple becoming. So the chariot is known as triple becoming by piercing it with the axle made of the origins of cankers, has been revolving throughout time that has no beginning. In other words, this is samsara, the rounds of continuous, endless birth and death. Okay, spokes here means karma. All right. So it says all of these wheel spokes were destroyed by him at the place of enlightenment. It means in enlightenment, he destroyed all the ways of creating karma. As he stood firm with his feet of energy on the ground of virtue, wielding with the hand of faith the axe of knowledge that destroys karma. Wow, so many metaphors. Because the spokes are thus destroyed, he is accomplished too. Okay, all right. Then it continues, it says, or alternatively, if you don't like that explanation, it is the beginningless rounds of rebirths of dependent origination that is called the wheel of the round of rebirths. Ignorance is its hub because it is its root. You can, the hub is the central, when the wheel turns, the hub is the one that doesn't, it just turns in a, how you say, on its axis. Okay, I'm trying to describe too many things which I don't know how to describe. Okay, aging and death is its rim because it terminates it. And then the remaining 10 are its spokes because ignorance is their root and aging and death their intention, their termination. Okay, so the eagle-eared ones, not eagle eye, but eagle-eared ones, when you see the remaining 10, then you should have figured out that 10 plus ignorance plus aging and death makes up 12. So the 12 are known as the 12 conditioned links. Okay, all right. Now, says that the Blessed One saw, understood, and penetrated in all aspects this dependent origination with its 4 summarizations, its 3 times, its 20 aspects, and its 3 links. Knowledge is in the sense of that being known, and understanding is in the sense of the act of understanding that. What is this? This is just, no matter how you look at the 12 condition links, you understand them all from any angle. So the verse goes, the spokes of rebel's wheel have been destroyed, made wisdom's weapon keen. By him, the helper of the world, and so accomplished she is called. Okay. Now we move on to, let me see. Okay, give me a second. All right. Give me a second. How do I end this slideshow? And forgot to do my formatting, or I think I accidentally. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, number 4, he is worthy of requisites or worthy of offerings. And it says, because it is he who is most worthy of offerings. For when a perfect one has arisen, important deities and human beings pay homage to none else, to no one else. For Brahma's Sahampati, that's one of Lord Brahma's many names, paid homage to the perfect one with a jeweled garland as big as Sineru, that's Mount Sumeru. And other deities or devas did so according to their means, as well as human beings, as King Bimbisara of Magadha and the King of Kosala. Also, part of the human beings is for example, the layman Ananta Pindika, who is known as the Buddha's chief patron. He donated the Jeta Grove to the Buddha and the monks. Okay, so the verse goes, so he is worthy, the helper of the world, of homage paid with requisites. The word, why is it? The word accomplished has this meaning in the world, hence the victor is worthy of that word. Okay, so number 5, and this is the final one for the accomplished one. It says, the Buddha does not act like fools in the world, okay, who do evil things, but they do it in secret. They don't want people to find out. So they know they're doing something wrong, okay, and that's why they do it in secret. So the verse is, no secret evil deed may claim an author so august. The name accomplished is his deservedly by absence of such secrecy. Okay. Then this is a concluding verse for why the Buddha is known as the accomplished one. Let me see. So it's a summary. It says, the sage of remoteness, unalloyed, vanquished defiling foes deployed, the spokes of rebel's wheel destroyed, worthy of requisites employed, secret evil he does avoid. For these 5 reasons, he may claim the word accomplished for his name. Hold on, I'm not sure why I never looked at why where do these verses come from? Let me see if I can find. There are no it doesn't say. Yeah, the text doesn't say. It just, yeah, okay. Because I find it interesting. Okay. Let me see. It's all right. Because I just want to check the time, because I want to make sure I have a story for you all. Very interesting story. It's connected to the Buddha's 32 hallmarks. Yeah. So, okay. Now we already look at the word accomplish and what it means. Now we look at what fully enlightened means. Okay. All right. So the Buddha is fully enlightened because he has discovered all things rightly and by himself. Okay, what has he discovered? He discovered of the things to be directly known that they must be directly known. That means he learns about, he discovers the fourth truths, the four noble truths. Of the things to be fully understood that they must be fully understood, which is the penetration of suffering. And then number 3, of the things to be abandoned that they must be abandoned. This is the third of the Four Noble Truths. And then of the things to be realized that they must be realized, that is the overcoming of suffering, or the cessation of suffering. Wait, did I get? Yeah. Now the things to be developed that they must be developed. This is the number 4, which is the Noble Eightfold Path, the way to end suffering. So as if any of you are familiar with Mahayana texts, you will know that in Mahayana texts, the scope of practice is larger. It doesn't run away from the Four Noble Truths, but it also includes what happens after you encompass, you understand, or you penetrate the Four Noble Truths. So for those who are familiar, and when you see the Buddha's titles, and you see, for example, like the Knower of the Worlds, or he's the Fully Enlightened One, then you can expand, take the principle of what the Buddha understands and expand it yourself. Okay, you don't have to restrict it to what we're reading. So the verse goes, what must be directly known is directly known. What has to be developed has been developed. What has to be abandoned has been abandoned. And that Brahman is why I am enlightened. Okay, so this is the Buddha's own words. Yeah. Sometimes the Buddha, I used to think, is the Buddha boastful? But actually the Buddha is just stating facts. Yeah, it's just it was from my perspective, because, you know, I say, oh, it's a Buddha boasting. Yeah, but actually that's just my perception. Okay, besides, why else is the Buddha the fully enlightened one? He knows that the eye, including the ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, is truth of suffering. Oh, again, I seem to have typo. Hold on, let me fix that. Voila. Okay, fix. Okay. All right. Where does suffering come from? Your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Okay. Actually, it's not that. It's attachment. Okay. The attachment to what happens when we use our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And the Buddha knows the prior craving that originates it by being its root cause is the truth of origin. The non-occurrence of both is the truth of cessation. And the way that is the act of understanding cessation is the truth of the path. This is another way of understanding the Four Noble Truths. Okay. And then the following should be construed in the same way. The 6 bases beginning with visible objects, the 6 groups of consciousnesses beginning with eye consciousness, the 6 kinds of contact beginning with eye contact, the 6 kinds of feeling beginning with eye contact bond, the 6 kinds of perception beginning with perception of visible objects, the 6 kinds of volition beginning with volition about visible objects, and the 6 groups of craving beginning with craving for visible objects. Okay, what are these? This is basically how your 6 sense objects, all right, your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, how they connect to the world around us and our internal world. For example, what is internal and external world? Okay, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body connect with external world. All right. Then the mind also connects with the external world because it gets all this sensory input from its senses, from the 5 senses. And then anything that happens after that, your thinking, your deliberation, your imagination, everything, okay, your memory, that's internal. Okay. So basically, when your senses connect with the world outside and inside, there's contact. All right. So that's the word contact. And then when there's contact, the corresponding consciousness comes. If I'm putting you to sleep, don't worry. Just listen, 1 year in, 1 year out. Okay. This is Actually, it's kind of important, but you don't have to know in order to practice, but it's helpful to know. Okay, all right. Now, because this is how how to say, this is how you work as a human being. Okay, if you want to understand how do you work as a human being, this is how it is. If something goes wrong with you and you need to look at a booklet to know how to repair yourself, I can bet with you this will be part of the instructions. Okay, all right. Then when you contact with something, then you have feeling, whether you like something, you don't like something, or you're indifferent. Okay, and then you also have perception about what you're seeing. Something is blue, that is an apple is red. And then volition means your intentions. This is how you create karma. For example, you see a red apple, you say, red apples are sweet, I want to eat the red apple. But when you see a green apple, you say, oh, the last green apple I ate, or almost every green apple I ate is very sour. No, I don't like green apples. I only like red apples. And you purposely say there's only one red apple left. And among many green apples, and you purposely reach for that red apple. That's volition. That's how you create karma. Okay. And that behind it, the purposely choosing the red apple among all the green apples, that's craving. Okay. So this is basically just how you function on a day-to-day basis. Okay. Then the next, which the Buddha knows exactly, okay, is what? The 6 kinds of applied thought, beginning with applied thought about visible objects, then sustained thought, all right? Then the 5 aggregates, beginning with the aggregate of matter or form, then 10 kasinas, the 10 recollections, and the 10 perceptions. What are these? Okay, some of these are what happens when you meditate. All right, so for example, like the 10 kasinas, there's a particular meditation technique where, for example, like the earth. So the 10 kasinas are made out of various materials and colors. And then the final one is known as the air kasina, which is just a circle with nothing in it. So it's a ring. And you can see through the ring for you to contemplate air. Okay. But I know from I don't think it's a very popular meditation technique, but it's taught. And when the Buddha taught it, he said, for example, you want to make an earth kasina, the Buddha taught how you can collect the earth, and then you how you say, you not purify, use filter, you silk the earth, and until you have a very fine powder, and the color is very uniform. You don't have any impurities. And then you mix it with water, and then you you put it in a round circle, and then you create a disc. And you have to make sure there are no specks of other colors in it. So there's just an earth color. And then you put it in front of you. Once it's dried, you put it in front of you and you stare at it, and then you contemplate, for example. So that's the 10 kasinas. And then the 10 perceptions is what happens when you look at the stage of decay of a body. And that's meant not to give you repulsion. That practice of recollecting the body is to fight desire, but not to give rise to repulsion, because repulsion is the opposite of desire. It's just to make you aware of the body and not get attached to the body. Okay. And other methods the Buddha is fully understands is the 32 aspects of the body, beginning with the head, the hairs on the top of your head, then the nails, and then all the different liquids in the body, all the different solids of the body, all those things, and the 12 bases, the 18 elements, the 9 kinds of becoming, beginning with sensual becoming, the four jhanas or dhyanas, the four measureless states. Those are known as the four immaterial states. Let me see, four measureless. Oh, sorry, four measureless states are the Brahma Viharas: loving kindness, compassion, equanimity, empathetic joy, and equanimity. Then the four immaterial attainments are the four formless states of meditation. And then the factors of the dependent origination in reverse order, beginning with aging and death, and in forward order, beginning with ignorance. These are the 12 condition links. Okay, so the Buddha knows all of them. How many of them do you know? Anyone? Well, the Buddha knows all. Okay, now, let me see, time 10:06. Oh, do we have any questions? Doesn't have to be related to what we just went through, because what we just went through, unless you have a good meditative experience, it can be a bit academic, a bit dry. Does anyone want to bring up anything? No? Okay. Then what we shall do is, let me see. You know what? Let's look at the 32 hallmarks. How about that? And then if there's time, we'll come back to this slide. What's this? Slide number 26, because this is a new chapter, a new section of the sutra, and there are quite a bit of slides in this this section. Okay, all right. Let me get my notes. Okay, where is my? Okay, hold on. Let me end this slideshow. Okay. Where's my 32 hallmarks? Oh, okay. It's not PowerPoint. It is. Okay. All right. Full screen F11. Okay. Did we go through fine webbing on and lacing between the Buddha's fingers and toes? I don't think we did that, right? Did we?
No.
Okay, all right. And thank you. Who was that? Okay. And okay, this I remember. We did this supple and soft hands and feet. Okay. So have you all ever watched the comic or cartoons of the superhero known as Aquaman? I think it's Aquaman, right? I think he's the only one. Is there any other superhero in the water? So what happens is Aquaman, in order to swim faster, has his skin is extended. You could imagine your skin between your fingers extending up to the the knuckles. You know, who has something like a sugar glider? You know what's a sugar? Okay, anyway, you have the picture in front of you, so it's okay. So you can see in between the Buddha's fingers, this fine webbing lacing. Yeah. So how do you get this? Well, it's by cultivating the four means of attraction. This is the Bodhisattva path of giving, pleasant speech, beneficial actions, and joint endeavors. Let me see. That's not a very good translation. Okay. So an alternative is being generous, speaking kindly, giving encouragement regarding the Dharma, and you how you say, the fourth one where I said it was joint endeavors. It is you are not a hypocrite. You practice what you preach. So you are the example of what you want people to be. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. You set yourself as an example. So if you want to tell people, oh, you have to observe the precepts, you can't kill, you can't lie, you have to be doing it yourself. Yeah. So, oh, okay, I just read this. So this The fingers and toes of the Buddha are connected with a web of white light. Okay, so it's not actually skin. I'm so sorry. It's not actually skin. Yeah, it's a web of white light. And it says this feature arises from having practiced the four methods of attraction. Yeah. Okay. So, this 32 marks, okay, of the Buddha. If I'm not wrong, only if your divine eye is open, if you have if you have spiritual abilities and you can see, then only then are you able to see the 32 hallmarks of the Buddha. Yeah. Unless the Buddha chooses to reveal it to you. Normal people won't be able to see. Yeah, because in the sutras there are stories where people, when they meet the Buddha, they don't to them the Buddha is just they just look at when they look at the Buddha, what they see is just a monk. Yeah, sometimes an old monk if the Buddha was older. Yeah. Okay. Now, number 6, well set, full and even heels. Okay, and how do you get this? You rescue those bound to be killed, and then you are free, or you control yourself from disturbing emotions and attitudes. And then let me see. So what this full set even heels means is the heels jut out broadly from his feet. And then and you get this through compassion, by helping others, saving them, making them comfortable. Yeah. So if you wear shoes and your heel is always slipping in your shoe, you know what to do. Okay. You always help people. Then next time when you wear your shoes, your heel will jut out more, and when you walk, you won't have blisters on your heels. Okay. Now, arch in steps. Wait a minute. Arch in steps. Okay. Now, if you all remember from last week, let me go back. Okay, let me go back. You see, level and full feet. So I never noticed it seemed contradictory. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure now. Okay, because the first of the Buddha's 32 hallmarks is level and full feet. That means his feet are flat. It says, as level as the breast of a tortoise shell. You turn a tortoise upside down, that's the breast. And it's always very flat. Okay. And then now we are at here, and it says the Buddha has arched in steps. Okay, anyway, let's see how the Buddha gets this. It says, through devoted practice of good dharmas. Okay, the explanation here is not very well. It says, one gains the mark of solidly planted feet, a sign foretelling the future ability to carry out one's chosen work. So that's the explanation I have. Does anyone have any knowledge about why one is flat, the other one says arch instead? Does anyone know? Nobody? Okay. All right. Let me see. Then, okay, maybe then now it's a good time to go to the story. This is from the Mahaprajna Paramita Shastra, or the commentary on the great great sutra wisdom at Mahaprajna. Sutra and Great Wisdom. This is a commentary on the Sutra of Great Wisdom. Okay. So it says a practitioner is called Bodhisattva starting from the moment when he has accomplished the actions producing the 32 marks. Okay, so which comes first, the Bodhisattva or the 32 marks? It says, okay. So when does he accomplish the actions? Actions here means karma. Producing the 32 marks, the answer is after the 3 incalculable periods. Okay, or asamkhya kalpas. So you might ask, how long is an asamkhya? Well, I'm really very glad you asked. It says, an asamkhya is a number so great that divine or human calculators cannot comprehend it. Actually, we can. Okay, let me show you. All right. Now, I'm not trying to be smart. Okay, the 10 times 10 equals to 100. Actually, it starts with 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So I didn't include that, but this is what Nagarjuna, this is how Bodhisattva Nagarjuna explains to us. So where it starts getting interesting is what is 1 koti. All right, 1 koti is 10 million. 10 million is known as 1 koti. Now, when you times that by 10 million or 10 million kotis, you get what? 1 nayuta. And what is that? 100 trillion. In other words, 10 to the power of 14. So 10 followed by 14 zeros is 100 trillion. Okay. Now, if you times 100 trillion or 1 nayuta by 10 million, okay, you get 1 bimbara, which is 1 sextillion or 10 to the power of 21 zeros. Okay. And if that's not enough, you can times that by 10 million again. So you get 10 million bimbaras, you get 1 gata, which is 10 octillion or 10 with 28 zeros. What does that look like? Well, you can have a look and that's what you have. Let me count. Let me see. 3, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 20, wait, 24. Wait, no. What's wrong? Wait, hold on. 6, 9, 12, right? And 15, 18, 21, 24, 20. Oh, yes, correct. 28. Yeah. Okay. And then beyond this is Asamkhya. All right. Okay. So knowing the number of zeros doesn't mean we understand. Okay. We just know, okay, we know how many zeros, but is there a way to comprehend? No. Don't talk about something large, just say a sesame seed, right? Can you imagine how many sesame seeds will make 1 gata? Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, moving on, it says, this is how the Asamkhya is calculated. When one has passed over the first Asamkhya, one passes through the second. When one has passed through the second, one passes through the third. Okay, all right. According to the rules of arithmetic, one counts from 1 to 100, and when the 100 is finished, one returns to 1. Okay, what arithmetic is this? Is the one we are looking at. And in the same way, after 1 Asamkhya, the Bodhisattva returns to 1. Okay, so what makes the 3 Asamkhyas different? During the first Asamkhya, the Bodhisattva does not know if he will become a Buddha or not. Okay, doesn't know yet. And then during the second Asamkhya, he knows that he will be, there's a word missing, a Buddha, but does not dare to proclaim, I shall be Buddha. Okay, he knows, but he say, I don't know why he doesn't want to proclaim it. He's not sure. Maybe he doesn't want to jinx it. When this reminds me when I had set my heart on leaving home. Okay, I knew I wanted to leave home, although nothing had. It was just a feeling, yeah. And so I would tell people, oh, I want to leave home one day. And then sometimes some people would tell me, oh, if you want to leave home, you shouldn't tell anyone. Just keep it to yourself. You don't want to jinx it. That's the advice I received. I think it's because later on in my journey, a lot of people I would meet at Berkeley Buddhist Monastery, at City of 10,000 Buddhas, and they will come and they will say, oh, I'm here to leave home. I'm here to leave home. But 80-90% of them never did. They got frustrated because when they came, there are all kinds of ideas or they look at the way we do things and they say, oh, you're doing things wrong, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. They have all kind of principles and rights and wrongs, and they never lasted. And I guess they just got into the way of themselves. So I guess, for those kind of people, people who are fed up with seeing so many people coming and saying they want to leave home, but nothing comes out of it. Say, don't say anything, just do it. You don't have to talk so much. But at that time, okay, I was like, why shouldn't I let people know this is something I want to do? So I went to see Jin Fan She came to Malaysia at that time. He's now in Taiwan, and I know that today some of those who are not joining us are actually in Taiwan, like Melinda, because they're opening a new branch. So I asked Jin Fan She, I said, Jin Fan She, is it true that if I want to leave home, I shouldn't tell anyone? And he just gave me a look, and the look I won't forget because the look is like, are you stupid? It's that kind of look, like, yeah. And then he just shook his head and he made a sound like, huh, yeah. And yeah, that was my Jin Fan She's reply to me. Okay, so during the second Asamkhya, the Bodhisattva knows he will be a Buddha, but he does not dare proclaim, I shall be Buddha. Yeah, maybe he got wrong advice from those people. Anyway, during the third Asamkhya, he's now confident. He's very confident. He says he knows he will be a Buddha, and he dares to proclaim fearlessly, later I shall be Buddha. There you go. Okay, he knows for sure already. Then for Shakyamuni Buddha, yes.
Actually,
Yes.
during the second Asamkhya, the Bodhisattva is from the first ground to the seventh ground. And
is that so?
Yeah. And
okay.
the third Asamkhya is from the eighth ground to to Buddhahood. So on the eighth ground, he's truly non-retreating. So between the first and the seventh ground, there's still a chance that he may retreat. So I'm thinking that's why he doesn't proclaim.
Okay.
But
all right.
the eighth ground, you're not retreating anymore. So it's very clear that you are going to be a Buddha.
Now that's interesting. Thank you so much. Yeah. All I know is that from the eighth ground onwards, and I didn't even know it was linked to the three Ashamkhayas. The eighth ground onwards, they have ended birth and death. Not necessarily before that. Yeah. But for sure, eighth ground onwards. Okay, so you said that during the second Asamkhaya, they are what ground to what ground?
So the first Asamkhya is from this seventh, so the first 40, so the first 40, I think. And then the second ground is first ground to the seventh ground.
Okay, hold on. Let me, I want to put this in the slide. Okay, so you said that second Asamkhaya is first ground
to the seventh.
To 7. Okay.
So I think Alex said the second ground to 7th, right?
No, the first ground to this.
Okay, hold on. And then let me see. What about the first Asamkhya Kalpa?
The first Asamkhya is, there are 52. There are 52 stages in Bodhisattva. So the first Asamkhya is all the ones previous to the first ground.
Wait. You mean the 52 stages is before first ground?
No. Okay. 40. 12. Yeah, the first Asamkhya is the 40 stages. 40, how do you call it? Stages or
Wait, when you say
uh,
four, are you saying it in Chinese or you're saying 40?
40?
Oh, okay. 40? Oh, 40, 40 what? 40 stages?
Yeah.
Not the 52. Not the 52 that the youth Sudana went through.
Yeah, it is the 52. It is the 52. So
Then just now you mentioned 40.
the first Asamkhya is the
Uh,
first 40.
oh, first 40.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, first 40 stages.
Mm-hmm. I hope my math is correct.
Then oh, okay. So 40 plus the
7 plus 8, 9, 10.
you're missing one.
等觉, and then 妙觉.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
The
Wow.
last
Okay.
the last 8 is very. It's as you go up, it takes longer and longer to get up to the next round.
Okay. That's so great to know. Is that from the Avatamsaka Sutra or from a commentary?
This is from Yuan Shi Fa Si.
Oh, okay.
And I assume that his source is from Avatamsaka.
Okay. If you can find the source or if you have the page from him,
Okay.
I would be very happy if you could share that with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so Levan says that, let me see. So Levan has shared that coming to the feet of the Buddha, he says in the Mahapadana Sutta or DN 14, says the characteristics of Buddhas, the arch is at the top of the feet like a tortoise shell. Okay, the arch is like a tortoise shell. Okay.
Oh, so it seems to be describing the top of the feet rather than the bottom of the feet. So the first thing is still that he has well placed feet, that well placed on the ground. But the part about the arch of the feet, it seems to be like it's describing the upper part, the dorsum, not the sole, not the sole
Okay.
surface, the other surface.
Oh, so it's not instep, it is.
It is the other part. It's the top part, not the bottom part of the foot.
Okay. No wonder. That's why I'm so confused. Okay, I better change my slide then. Okay. All right, good. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, now let me see, where are we? Okay, great. Today is really good because not only I have learned something new, but you all are contributing as well. You all should contribute more. Yeah, then in the end, I don't have to work so hard. Okay, now, so the last paragraph says, for Shakyamuni Buddha, the first Asamkhya goes from the ancient Buddha Shakyamuni, so this is not himself, but another Buddha by the same name, to the Buddha Ratna Shikin. And during this period, he venerated 75,000 Buddhas. And from that time on, the Bodhisattva was free of all female births. Okay, that means he was always a man in every birth. Yeah. Okay. Then during the second Asamkhya, he goes from the Buddha Ratna Shikin to the Buddha Dipankara. Then Buddha Dipankara, I think, is the one who conferred the prediction on the. Oh yeah, that is right there in the next paragraph. It says that was when the Bodhisattva offered 7 blue lotus blossoms to the Buddha Dipankara, laid out his garment of antelope skin, and spread out his hair to cover the mud. So he saw the Buddha Dipankara walking on the road, and the road was not very well made. So he didn't want the Buddha's feet to be soiled. So he took off his clothes, covered the mud, and he laid out his hair. He had long hair. He was ascetic during that time. And he laid out the hair and as an offering to the Buddha to step on it, so his feet would be clean. And then on that occasion, he received a prediction saying that in the future you shall be a Buddha by the name of Shakyamuni. And then during that period, he worshipped 76,000 Buddhas. Okay. And during the third Asamkhya period, it was from Buddha Dipankara onwards to the Buddha Vipashin. And then during this period, he venerated 77,000 Buddhas. Okay, so for fun fact, okay, they say 3 Asamkhya kalpas, but actually, after these 3 Asamkhya kalpas, for a period of 91 kalpas, from the Buddha Vipashin to the Buddha Kashyapa, these are the 7 Buddhas of 7 past Buddhas, and the Bodhisattva Shakyamuni accomplished the actions producing the 32 marks, and when he had accumulated them, his 6 virtues were perfected. Then what is after that in that paragraph is just said that normally these 100 kalpas are not mentioned, and they just say that Buddhahood is attained at the end of 3 Asamkhyas. Yeah, they round it up. Okay, now says, in what place are the actions producing the 32 marks? Let me see. Okay, I'll go through this. This is the last slide before the story. It says, in what place are the actions producing the 32 marks accomplished? Say, in the realm of desire, and not in the form realm or in the formless realm. Okay, what are these realms? Well, the realm of desire is where you have the hells, the ghosts, the animals, the human realm, the realm of asuras, as well as the 6 desire heavens. Okay, so it is in this realm that the karma is planted to get this 32 marks. Okay, and of the 5 destinies of the desire realm, they are accomplished in the human realm. Okay, so they're not accomplished in the hell realm, the ghost realm, animal realm, asura, or the 6 desire heavens, but in the realm of humans. And then of the 4 continents, there are 4 continents where you can find humans. It is only accomplished in Jambudvipa, and he does them as a male, as a female, and then he accomplished them in the epoch epoch means era, in which the Buddhas appear, not in a period where there are no Buddhas, and he accomplishes them with a view of Buddhahood and not with any other goal. So your intention must be to save all living beings and to aspire to Buddhahood, to plant the causes for the 32 hallmarks. Okay, now where is my story? Hold on, is it this one? No, wait. No. Okay. This is the lead into the story. Okay, it says, how long does the Bodhisattva accomplish the actions producing the 32 marks? That means how long does it take to create all the karma so you can get the 32 hallmarks? So it says, during 100 kalpas, if it goes slowly, during 91 kalpas, if it goes quickly. And Shakyamuni Buddha realized the 32 marks in 91 kalpas. Okay. How is that possible? Well, in the Avadanasataka, which hasn't been translated into English. I think it's in Sanskrit. Yeah. So there's a story. It says there was during a period where the Buddha was named Pusya. Buddha Pusya. There were 2 Bodhisattvas, Shakyamuni Buddha and Maitreya Bodhisattva. These are not different from the same Maitreya Bodhisattva as we know, and the same, it was Shakyamuni Buddha when he was still a Bodhisattva. So the Buddha Pusya wanted to see if the mind of the Bodhisattva Shakyamuni was pure or not. So he examined Shakyamuni Bodhisattva's mind and saw that his mind was not pure, but the minds of his disciples were pure. And then he also examined Maitreya Bodhisattva and then found that Maitreya Bodhisattva's mind was pure, but the minds of the disciples were not pure. Okay, so how did this happen? So there's a question. Why is that? So he said that it's because Shakyamuni Bodhisattva was preoccupied with the good of beings. That means he was benefiting beings, but he didn't pay attention to himself. Whereas Maitreya Bodhisattva was the opposite. He was preoccupied with himself and little with other beings. Okay. Now, so the Buddha Pusya had a thought. He said, it is easy to change quickly the mind of a single man, but it is difficult to change quickly the mind of a crowd. And having had this thought, he wanted Shakyamuni Buddha to become a Buddha quickly. What did Pusya Buddha do? He climbed the Himawat mountain, and then there he found a cave filled with jewels, and he entered there in the concentration of fire. What is this concentration of fire? Well, it's when the Buddha was about to be born, all the Prachika Buddhas rose up in the air and they emitted fire from the lower part of the bodies, and then they emitted water from the upper part, and then they switched it around. They emitted water from the lower part and fire from the upper part, and then they self-immolated by burning their entire bodies. This is that known as concentration of fire. So when you reach, when you overcome birth and death, and your spiritual power is so great, you don't need wood, you don't need oil, you can self-immolate your body. Okay, so that's what he did. So why did he do that? Well, he knew that Shakyamuni Buddha, who was a heretical sage, that means he was like a rishi or a Taoist immortal. They practiced and they meditated, but they didn't follow the Buddha's teachings. So he was in the mountain gathering herbs. And then he saw the Buddha Pusya in the jeweled cave, in the concentration or the samadhi of fire, and he emitted a great brilliance. And what happened? He experienced great joy. He developed faith and he paid homage. And he made a vow. Okay, what vow did he make and how did he do it? Well, standing erect on one leg, his palms joined towards the Buddha Pusya. Why standing erect on one leg? Well, because he wasn't an adherent of the Buddha, and you will still find it in India. There are some gurus who their practice, some of them they lift their hand up and they never put their hands down until their hand atrophies. Some stand on one leg because they think that by mortification of the body, they can get salvation. It's a understanding if you view the soul as eternal, that's the practice that you gravitate towards, mortification of the body. You find it in Buddhism too. People who don't really understand, they go through extreme practices, usually with wrong view. Yeah, they think that by just doing a ascetic practice is enough to get them enlightened. Yeah. So that's what he did. He stand erect on one leg, he put his palms together, and he considered him attentively. In other words, he was recollecting the Buddha. Without blinking his eyes for 7 days and 7 nights, he praised the Buddha Pusya with a single stanza, with just one verse. It says, either in heaven or on earth, there is no equal to the Buddha. In the universes of the 10 directions, there is no one comparable to him. If one considers all the beings in the universe, no one is like the Buddha. So Buddha Pusya purposely put on this show because he knew that that was key to developing faith to develop in Shakyamuni Bodhisattva at that time, because usually all these externalists, they practice meditation. So when someone comes along and their meditation prowess is like, a lot better than them, it inspires them. So for 7 days and 7 nights, he contemplated the Buddha Pusya thus without blinking his eyes. That's how sincere he was. This is how he freed 9 kalpas and reached supreme perfect enlightenment in 91 kalpas. Okay, so some of you may ask, says Shakyamuni Bodhisattva, intelligent and well-learned, was capable of composing all sorts of marvelous stanzas. Why then? Excuse me. Why then does he praise the Buddha with one single stanza for 7 days and 7 nights? Well, the short answer is because Shakyamuni Bodhisattva is not like you. Okay. The long answer, he valued his mental intentions and valued the fact of not chattering. Why say more when one is enough, right? If he had praised the Buddha with still more stanzas or verses, his mind would now and then have been distracted. This is why he praised the Buddha with the same stanza for 7 days and 7 nights. Okay. I have more notes here, which is in another version. It wasn't just him who praised the Buddha, it was both him as well as Maitreya Bodhisattva who praised Pusya Buddha. Okay. All right. So Alec has shared his notes, which from where he shared just now, and let me see if I can share it with everyone. Okay, where's my slides? Oh, where is it? Okay. Alec, do you want to explain?
Yeah, especially what I said needs a bit of adjustment. The These are the first 40 stages of a bodhisattva,
Okay.
right? And then here,
You mean
there's
52, right?
52, and then these ones are the first 40, right?
Okay.
The first one is the faith stage. I don't know. Can I point to this? The orange bracket is
Yeah.
the first 10.
I think you
Right,
can
the
draw on
faith.
screen. You can you
I?
try touching your screen and see if you can draw. Let me see.
I don't have that control.
Can you?
I don't seem to be able to.
No? Okay. I don't know
Okay,
how to do it on my side.
and
Yeah.
anyway, I can talk to it. The orange bracket is the first 10 stages, which is the faith, the faith stage. The first 10 faith is called the faith stage. And then the yellow bracket is the 10 abiding stages. And the green bracket is the 10 practice stages. I can't remember how we translate the names in CTTB.
Oh.
And then the gray represents the 10 transference stages. And then the blue bracket is the first the first ground. So and then you see
okay.
and then the bottom there's the braces. It indicates that it's the first how do you pronounce it?
Asamkaya.
Ashamkaya Kappa.
Oh, okay.
Does that
All
make
right.
sense?
And then this is the second one.
The second one, the orange one, is the first ground, and then the yellow one is the 7th ground. So the second Asham Kaya Kalpa is where the Bodhisattva is advanced from the 1st ground to the 7th ground. And then the third Asham Kalpa, Asham Kaya Kalpa is from the 8th to the 10th ground. The 8th is the green one, and the gray one is the 10th ground. And then the blue bracket is the Dharma Pusya. Dharma Pusya is what? I can't remember how to translate
It's
that.
it's okay.
It's the 50. Yeah, the 51st, and then the last one, the orange, the last one is the orange. Is the they call it Miao Jue, which is the Buddha stage.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you so much for
So
sharing that.
the 8th ground is where the Bodhisattva is truly non-retreating. So he has the confidence to say, I will become a Buddha.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's very why did I have that? Okay. Time to transfer merit. Let me does anyone remember last week which transference did we do? Was it a long one or a short one?
The Abhayagiri one. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So today we shall do the other one. And okay. Everyone ready? May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. Let's do 3 bows to the Buddha. Second bow. Third bow. Half bow. Bowing respect to the Venerable Master. Second bow. Third bow. Half bow. Okay, everyone, Amitabha, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you, 法师。
I mean,